is a tendency of insurgents so that they can get attention and give the impression that they are still active, when in reality they are not as potent as they were before the operation to dislodge them.
But have you been able to get on the trail of the perpetrators of this act?
Previous acts, yes. Previous acts that were perpetrated in this similar fashion, the perpetrators have always been tracked, either within the country or outside. And we believe that the remaining ones that perpetrated this, sooner or later, they'll be tracked.
From security to education now, the federal government remains upbeat that the industrial action by university lecturers will be over on or before Monday, August the 19th next week. Although members of the ASU negotiating team led by its president Nasir Fage refused to speak to journalists after a meeting with the federal government, the chairman of the Needs Assessment Committee, Governor Gabriel Suswam of Benue State, insists that the meeting was not deadlocked. Our correspondent Amaka Okafo reports.
After several meetings before the Eid al-Fitr holidays, the federal government needs assessment team and the academic staff union of universities resumed negotiations seeking to put an end to the industrial action embarked on by the lecturers. Those at the meeting include the Minister of Finance, Ministers of Education, Labour, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, and the DG Budget Office. The chairman of Nigerian Universities Needs Assessment Committee and the ASU president set the tone of the meeting.
I don't want people to be preconceived. Let us be open in discussion, because we are determined that we find a solution to this problem here today. And I believe that if we are open in our discussion and we have an open mind, we'll definitely come up with a solution to this problem.
We will listen. If there is anything we need to take back, we'll take back to our principal. Sorry, Your Excellency, said things can be done in such a way that we don't have to go back to our principal. I want to assure you that no matter what is done here today, we'll have to go back to our principal.
At the end of 2 hours of deliberation, the ASU team left the meeting refusing to comment on the outcome.
Go and talk to government.
However, the federal government team was full of assurances that progress has been made.
The Minister of Finance, you agree with me, standing the meeting for the first time, and DG Budget. And so we are getting close to it now that finance is coming, because the strike is about settling some debt and also intervening in the university. And so she's here. She also has contributed immensely.
The next meeting between the two sides has been set for Monday, the 19th of August, 2013. The federal government is optimistic that the strike will be called off after the next meeting. Amaka Okafo, Channels Television News.
The Minister of Finance, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, did not speak at that session between the federal government and ASU, but didn't sound as optimistic as Governor Suswam when she spoke at a two-day meeting of Commissioners of Finance and Accountants General of States in Minna, Niger State. Dr. Okonjo-Iweala told participants at the session that the federal government doesn't have the resources to meet the 92 billion naira financial demand by ASU. She noted that Nigeria needs to make choices as the nation gets to the stage where recurrent expenditure take the bulk of resources and people get paid but cannot do the work. According to her, since she assumed office, the recurrent expenditure in the nation's total budget have increased astronomically. Recurrent expenditure is set to account for about 77.2% of the current budget, although experts are said to be ongoing to rebalance this ratio. Dr. Okonjo-Iweala insists that if the demands of the university lecturers are met and government continues to pay them salaries and allowances, the government will not be able to provide infrastructure in the universities.
Still to come on News Track, former President Olusegun Obasanjo carpets the quality of leadership in the country.
Every day as they happen, Opinions arise.
I lost money in Africa. Sanusi said he couldn't care about the shareholder. Is that possible?
For and against, they have to be heard.
The government of this dispensation has made a very strong commitment. Yet, bomb keeps going on every day.
People are dying, and we are talking grammar.
Unfeatured.
You are the worst advertisement of the product you are trying to pick.
Uninhibited.
People are contravening and contradicting traffic rules.
And issues are laid bare.
This is what is called in psychology narcissism. Is worse than megalomania.
And the weight decided by you. Face Off. Wednesdays 8 to 9 p.m. only on Channels Television.
So welcome back. All the top stories and other programs can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb.
If you're on the go, visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on an iPad, iPhone, or BlackBerry. You could also download the Channels TV app for Android and Nokia 920 from their respective stores. The former President Olusegun Obasanjo has criticized Nigeria's younger generation of leaders while speaking on the challenge of leadership both in Nigeria and the whole of the African continent, saying the current generation lacks integrity and they failed their people woefully. Chief Obasanjo, who was the keynote speaker at a summit at the University of Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, maintained that Nigeria may have been cursed with poor and irresponsible leaders, commending the leadership qualities of Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King Jr. Chief Obasanjo said security and youth unemployment constitute some of the issues the leaders must address urgently.
At the Joint Action Committee of Northern Groups, JACONG, a new socio-political group, has emerged with a mandate to work with the Northern Elders Forum, Arewa Consultative Forum, ACF, and the Northern Governors to improve the quality of leadership, tackle security challenges, and ensure that power returns to the North in 2015. The Publicity Secretary and a member of the Boko Haram Amnesty Committee, Dr. Hakim Ahmed, said the group is also working towards restoring the ideals and values of past Northern leaders.
Our group recognizes the need to work with anybody who can restore peace and security to the North.
The exposure of people of the North is so serious that anybody who genuinely aspires to render service to the North cannot continue to treat the problems of the North as business as usual. It just isn't possible. You have to radically change the way leadership responds to the needs of ordinary Northerners.
What we want to do is to see if we can reinforce those positive qualities in the North, harness its resources so that every Northerner can feel the impact under a leadership that is motivated by service and commitment.
Still on politics, Governor Godswill Akpabio of Akwa Ibom State says the fence-mending meeting between President Goodluck Jonathan and some governors from the People's Democratic Party is part of the party's effort to put its house in order. Governor Akpabio told State House correspondents that progress is being made to reconcile members of the party. It was gathered that President Jonathan had met with some governors alongside party leaders such as former President Olusegun Obasanjo to ensure peace in the party.
All the steps being taken at the moment are steps in the right direction to ensure the cohesion and to bring back all the party faithfuls, particularly the body of governors who will come together to work as one for the interests of Nigeria and the interests of the People's Democratic Party.
From the discussions you have had so far, what would you say from your point of view the psychology is now of the 5 aggrieved governors?
No, I don't know anything about any 5 aggrieved governors. I do know that all the governors of the PDP are working towards the success of the party. I'm not aware of any 5 aggrieved governors, but one thing I can assure you is that there is jitters in the camp of the opposition with the meetings of PDP governors and the national convention that is coming. Because as soon as the PDP puts its house in order, you know the result. The result is that Nigerians will follow, because that is the only truly national party in Nigeria. that is the unique party without cleavages of ethnicity or tribalism, and that is the unique party without Godfather. All of us are there because it's a national party, belongs to